Everybody, John here, obviously. And something I was talking about yesterday, for those of you who didn't figure it out, I was kidding. Like that needs to be said. My conception of the Black Lives Matter Antifa phenomena has lately taken an economic turn. The cosplaying, the pretending to be in a revolution, and of course by doing so creating a revolution, that's obviously very exciting for someone without presumably a lot else going on in their life. And now that they're at the center of all this fire and fury and tumult. But the economic impact, and I don't mean destruction of people's businesses and loss of property value and, ruin that you're bringing on other people's lives as a Black Lives Matter, or Antifa activist. I mean, let's take the example of a small town that doesn't have street food vendors, right? Let's say you move to a small town that doesn't have food trucks, and you start a taco truck. Well, pretty soon there's a demand for taco truck street food, and probably a demand for other street food like hot dogs and French fries and other stuff like that. Because by supplying something in a market, that supply has created its own demand. This is an economic principle. And I think looking at Black Lives Matter and Antifa, who presumably, according to their names, according to their rhetoric, Antifa is opposition to fascism, opposition to the N-word, the National German Socialist Workers' Party, which doesn't exist anymore. And Black Lives Matter is opposition to white supremacy, racism, institutional, embedded, it pervades everything racism. Well, prior to the emergence of these two movements, the two things that they were fighting, Nazis and this all-encompassing white supremacy racism, didn't actually exist. I mean, sure, there is such a thing as racism, and it's still around. It's going to be around for as long as there's human beings of different colors, I suppose. But it wasn't like the end-all be-all of problems. It was just a thing. It was an annoyance. But by producing its opposite in a market that didn't actually require that, the market forces are that the thing that you're there to oppose now manifests. So economically speaking, by creating a very powerful, very well-funded, pervasive Antifa movement, what you are creating is the thing that Antifa wanted to fight. It's looking at it economically, not socially, not social justice-y, not psychologically. Looking at it from an economic perspective, these two movements create the things that they purport to fight, and not just by like an oopsie accident, as a consequence of the way markets work. When you put something in a market, the demand for that thing grows to meet the supply. So by supplying anti-fascism, you've actually created fascism. And by supplying this hyper-aggressive, very brutal and violent anti-racist thing, and I'm being very kind to presume that they're actually anti-racist. They're actually creating the pervasive racism that they claim to fight. And if you're in one of these groups, you don't understand this. You are the thing that you're trying to fight, you towering idiot. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks to the people hitting the subscribe and the bell notification so that you get notification of the next video. And special thanks to the people subscribing through Subscribestar or Patreon, who get early access to some of these videos and some exclusive videos. Thanks very much, and as always, have a lovely, lovely day.